Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 6.
My name is Farah Intan Anasis.
My name is Marwana Suwaid.
My name is Adi Anissa. In this video, we will explain about atoms, molecules, and ions,
And how we do know it in our daily life.
Everything that we see and feel around us is usually termed as matter. By now, we even know that matter is classified into 3 major states. And what are these 3 states of matter? They are solid, liquid, and gas. But ever thought about what the matter around us could be made up of? This question is not new and has been addressed a long time ago, and many people have an attempt to answer it. Let's have a look at a few of these philosophies and theories. Around 500 BC, an Indian philosopher named Maharishi Kanath hypothesized a concept. He suggested when we divide matter into tinier particles, ultimately we reach a stage when the matter cannot be divided further. Then these particles make up the matter. Another Indian philosopher named Pakuda Katyayama made a slight modification in Maharishi Kanath's work and elaborated, saying that indivisible particles come in different combinations to make up different kinds of matter. And around the same era, 2 Greek philosophers also suggested the same concept. They are Democritus and Leucippus. They also postulated that if we divide matter continuously, then we reach a stage where it cannot be divided further. These indivisible particles just make up the complete matter. Democritus named this particle as atomos, meaning indivisible. Around the end of the 18th century, a few scientists could prove these suggestions correct. They not only discovered research about atoms but also threw light on basic difference between elements and compounds. Because the atoms are the smallest part of matter and we cannot see them with the naked eye, so we made probes for atomic models of some atomic theory. It was around the first decade of the 19th century that a chemist and a physicist from England named John Dalton was successful in answering many questions about chemistry. He proposed a theory which was then known as the Dalton's atomic theory. With the theory, many concepts regarding matter, compositions of matter, atoms, and even combinations of atoms resulting in compound but better understood. He described an atom as a solid hard sphere which is neutral with no charge on it. Let's first take a very quick look at the 6 major postulates of the Dalton's atomic theory. First, he said that all matter is made up of very tiny particles called atoms. Secondly, he suggested that atoms are indivisible particles which cannot be created or destroyed in a chemical reaction. Third postulate was atoms of a given element are identical in mass and chemical properties. Fourth postulate was that atoms of different elements have different masses and chemical properties. Fifth, that atoms combine in a ratio of small whole numbers to form compounds. And lastly, the relative number and kinds of atoms are constant in a given compound. The discovery of subatomic particles led to the search how the subatomic particles are arranged in an atom. Joseph John Thomson was the first scientist to provide the structure of atom from inside. Joseph John Thomson discovered negatively charged particles by cathode ray tube experiment in the year of 1870. First, the positive and negative charge is equal in magnitude, and therefore an atom has no charge as a whole and is electrically neutral. Second, an atom resembles a sphere of positive charge with electrons, negatively charged particles present inside the sphere. Third, Thomson's atomic model resembles a spherical plum pudding as well as a watermelon.
After the Thomson atomic model, the next atomic model is Rutherford atomic model, processed by Ernest Rutherford in 1911. Ernest Rutherford argued that the positive charge and atomic mass were collected at the center of the atom, which was called the nucleus, while the electron revolved around the nucleus at a very far distance. In other words, most of the space in the atom is empty space. This is according to the alpha particle scattering experiment.
So this is Bohr's model atom. Niels Bohr made a few additional explanations to describe the atomic structure. The postulate put forward by Niels Bohr were as follows. Firstly, only certain special orbits called discrete orbit of electron are allowed inside the atom. Secondly, while revolving in this discrete orbit, the electrons do not radiate energy. This point definitely tells us why an atom is so stable. In the atomic structure, the nucleus located at the center, and the electrons are like planets which revolve in fixed defined orbital. These electron orbitals are referred to as shell or energy level. Niels Bohr suggests that the electrons revolving in this orbital do not radiate energy. Now, this is justified when we use the term energy level, because it indicates that each shell has got a defined energy level. That means when the electrons revolve in the shell, they do not liberate any form of energy. The nucleus contains positive proton, and the electron revolving around in fixed orbital. So, Bohr was the person who first developed the theory of atomic structure in 1913. Bohr's atomic model shows that the atom consists of several shells. This shell is where electrons move. So, that's all for Bohr's model atom. Thank you.
There are atoms that both positively and negatively charged atoms. The atom becomes charged because of the moving of electrons. There are two types of charged ions. First is anion. Anions are ions that are negatively charged. Why is this atom negatively charged? Because the atom captures electrons so that the number of the electrons in the atom is increases. The second is cations. Cations are positively charged ions. Atoms in cations are atoms that give up the electrons for the other atoms. For example, how to write the atomic notation for ions.
What is a molecule? So, molecule is the smallest particle of pure chemical substance that still retains its composition and chemical properties. A molecule can be loosely thought of as a group of atoms stuck together, usually through chemical bonds. Here we see a single hydrogen atom traveling through the cosmos. It's made of one positively charged proton in its nucleus and one negatively charged electron. If our lone hydrogen atom happens to pass close enough to another lone hydrogen atom, their electrons, which are attracted like magnets to protons, can pull the atoms towards each other until they collide and stick together. The two atoms now share each other's electron in what is called a covalent chemical bond. But this bond is not permanent. With enough heat or due to interacting with other molecules, the hydrogen atoms will split once more. Different types of atoms can form different number of chemical bonds. A hydrogen atom can only form one covalent bond at a time. If a third hydrogen atom were to collide with a hydrogen molecule, it will simply bounce off, or if it hits hard enough or in the just right. An oxygen atom can typically form two bonds. A carbon atom can make four, and an argon one usually bond with anything.